Welcome back to the Pro Body Lifestyle Podcast. I am your only host today. My name is Janusz. So last week I was sick. I got completely taken out. I ended up having a fever on Monday and then ended up developing a rash a day or two after that fever, and went to my doctor, had all of these scans done, and they've swabbed those the rash points, and ended up finding out that I had hand, foot, and mouth disease. So I've been isolating from Mel, hence the solo episodes. So last week, Mel talked about how to rebuild life momentum when something big takes you out. So for us, we had a miscarriage last year with our first baby, Anakin, and it just completely derailed both of our lives. Like, it was the first time really in my life that I've had something massive like that happen, where it just interrupted all areas of my lifestyle, where my exercise went out the door, my nutrition, my food went out the door, my mindset got completely derailed. And then we really fell into a bit of a pit where it was honestly really tough to get out of, because we just found us in a place where we were no longer keeping up our habits and the things that made us us. And because I am such a positive person, as many of you know who know me, like, it was just completely out of my own personality to be in that place. And so it felt really hard for me to get out of it. And it was just really tough to get out of it. So today's episode, I want to give you my point of view of how I took steps to rebuild out of that, to come to a place of being able to be joyful, being able to be happy, but most importantly, leaving the anxiety, leaving the depression, leaving those things behind. Obviously, they still poke their head out, but then these are the strategies that I'm going to go through today that I use to squash those, so that I'm making sure that I'm nurturing and maintaining my mindset so that I can ultimately have good days. So maybe you're feeling like anxiety, maybe you're feeling depression, maybe you've had things in life that have been big, like a miscarriage, that have just caused you to fall into this pit that you're feeling in. Or maybe it's something small like what I've had last week, where I had a fever, I got sick, I ended up getting hand, foot, and mouth disease, and I could no longer come to the gym and train. I could no longer do my normal habits and routines. And so instead of letting myself fall into a slump there, these were the strategies that I used to not only get back from big things like a miscarriage or something big, like a life event like that might change your state, but also the small things like just being sick. So people often tell me that I've got a golden retriever personality, that I'm lucky that I'm just somebody who's always positive, always happy, always joyful to be around. But it's not that it's actually my personality. It's really what I'm about to go through today. It's the habits that I do and follow that set me up to have that type of personality as I go through my days. And it makes me think that, like, sometimes people, they look at me and they say, you're just lucky that you're always motivated, or you're lucky that you've got momentum in your life. Like, and I hate when they say that to me. I hate when they say it to other people too, because it's not that we're lucky, right? It's like if anybody was in their circumstance, the person saying this to me, if anyone was in their circumstance, they would be demotivated too. They would be depressed as well. Like, if I lived your lifestyle, of course I would be depressed. Like, you're not leaving the house. You're not seeing friends and family. You're just sitting there swiping on your phone at home. You're not leaving your bedroom. You're in a dark room. Like, if you locked anyone up in a dark room, forced them not to move their body or exercise, don't go out in the sun, eat junk food, like swipe on Instagram all day, watch movies all day. Like, it's nice to do every now and then as like a thing to, if you have a day off. But if you're doing that day after day for a while, of course you're going to feel demotivated. Of course you're going to feel depressed. Of course you're going to feel anxiety, because your lifestyle, the habits you're doing, aren't conducive to making you feel good. And then you're wondering why you're so demotivated, why you're so depressed, why you're not motivated to go and chase your goals and do things. And the issue is not with you. It's not something innately that in your brain you're wired this way. The issue is in the way that you're currently choosing to live your lifestyle. And the cool thing about that is that you can just choose today, after listening to this podcast, you can choose to follow the 3-step system that I'm going to give you to help lift your lifestyle, to get yourself out of the house, to get yourself feeling good again, so that you can build momentum back in your life. So that's what I'm going to go through today. Like I said, this is a simple 3 steps that I teach my clients to help build their momentum again. If they've got anxiety or depression, it's the strategy also to help reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression, and ultimately just getting you feeling your best again. So the first thing that I like to do is focus on my environment. Okay, so if you are struggling right now, for example, just last week, it was very cloudy, it was very dark outside, it was raining, it was tough weather to be in when I was sick and I was trying to do some work. So all I did was I got outside into a light and bright environment. Like sometimes you just got to remember that you're not like a plant. Like plants, they thrive in sunlight. They thrive when there's brightness around. And humans, we're the exact same, where when we're exposed to sunlight, it literally releases in our brains dopamine, serotonin that helps us to lift our mood, that helps us to feel good from that sunlight. Now, unlike a plant, if a plant is inside in the shade, it can't just choose to walk outside unless it has someone help them get out there. But if it's like a cloudy day and it's just hard for you to work inside, because we all feel a bit more depressed when it's cloudy, then take yourself, go outside and just set up your workstation outside or go for a walk outside. You don't have to work outside. But what I did was I just set up my table outside so that I could just be in the sunlight, have that brightness on my eyes so that I could just feel more positive and more just encouraged around me. Now, when we had the miscarriage, we basically ended up rotting inside for about a week, honestly, where we didn't go outside. We just ate crap food. It was dark. We watched movies, which was great. But then it didn't help us to feel good. And we recognized that. We recognized that we needed to make a change. So the first thing that I always like to change is the environment. So then that's where we decided, okay, let's get out of the house. Let's still grieve. Let's still grieve the loss of our baby. But let's get out of the house and go for a walk in the Blue Mountains. Another day, we went out and we went to Wollongong and went for a little bit of a beach walk. And then, after that walk, we came home and we changed our environment. So then we were back at home again. But the thing is that you don't have to change your environment permanently for the entire day. It can just be for a section of your day. So if you're feeling like you're in the slumps right now, if you're feeling like you are feeling anxiety or depression when you're waking up in the mornings, get yourself up and before you go to work, get out into a different environment. Get out and go for a walk. Get out and get some sunlight on your skin. I wrote some points here about the science of sunshine too. Sunshine is one of the things that when it actually hits your body, when it hits your eyes, your receptors, it prompts your body to release serotonin, which is our happy hormones, into your bloodstream to help affect your brain, to lift your mood, to help you to break out of your sleep cycle, to help you keep your energies up, to help you feel calm and focused. So it's one of those things where why would you not start your day with sunlight? Or again, if you're in a depressed season right now, if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety, if you're feeling like you're struggling, get out of the house. Again, if anybody else was living your current habits and lifestyle, if you look at it from the outside right now, you're literally putting yourself in a place where you're not going to be thriving. You're putting yourself in a place where anybody would feel more depressed. Anybody will feel more demotivated. So if you want to feel more motivated, change your environment, lift your environment up. Hang around people who are positive. Hang around people who are going to help you. That's just another thing that we did during that miscarriage period. Once we realized that we isolated ourselves for that first week or 2 weeks, we realized, okay, we need to get connection again. We need to start hanging out with friends and family who can help speak life into us. So we changed our environment by physically going into more positive places, like going for the walks, going for the beach walks. But then we also went and hung out with the people who we knew were going to speak life into us as well. So make sure you get out of that isolation that you're putting yourself into and then bring yourself into community again. It's so funny because we all go through this. We all go through hard times in our life. And it's we end up putting ourselves in prisons that temporarily feel good because we're kind of escaping what's happening in our lives and withdrawing. But then what happens is we're actually putting ourselves into social isolation, which is what in jail systems they do for the worst prisoners. And so we do it by accident to ourselves by torturing ourselves and hanging out more in our head and getting ourselves more stuck in our head and in our worries, in our anxieties, beating ourselves up that we're not getting out there and doing our workouts, that we're not getting out there and eating the right foods, that we're not getting out there and working towards our goals. So the first thing we need to do is just take the action and choose to stop putting yourself into that prison, to break out of the isolation you put yourself into and to leave the house, to break out. And even if at the start you're not doing it to see other people, you can break out of the house and just be around people who you don't know. Like when we went to the Blue Mountains, we didn't know the people in the cafe that we went to there, but it just got us back into community again, having to smile at the waiter when we asked for our coffee. We said, thank you. You know what I mean? It gets you smiling again. And we just walked through and we're just back in community again. And then the next step is to then get back into community where you connect with people who you can connect with. The interesting thing about the sunshine, what I was talking about before, is that it's actually a disorder that a lot of people develop, which is called SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder, which is a type of depression that is often felt in darker winter months due to a lack of sunshine. And so when people are feeling depressed, like if you're feeling depression right now, if you're feeling like your mindset might not be where it needs to be, you need to take yourself and expose yourself to sunlight, like direct sunlight on your skin. So you want to be in bright rooms, you want to go outside for a little, it doesn't have to be long, just 10-minute walks to get that sunlight, to boost your serotonin, to fight like everything that happens that is causing you to be depressed. Now, first thing I do is I change my state. Second thing I do is I change my environment. Second thing I want to do then is change my state, like my mood, my body. So I change my environment. Now what I'm going to do is change my state. The fastest way to change your state is by exercising, by moving your body. Now, it doesn't have to be a complete overhaul, like a massive workout or anything, but just doing a walk or just doing some push-ups, just doing something for your body, playing some tennis, doing golf, anything small like that, causes your body to release those happy hormones, right? The serotonin, the dopamine, all of those hormones that help to lift your mood again. So your body, when you contract your muscles and your heart rate goes up, it releases those chemicals into your bloodstream and your body. And those happy hormones fight the negative hormones like cortisol that's in your body, which is a stress hormone. It's a hormone that contributes to you feeling more stressed, more anxious, more depression, more fear, right? So you have these happy hormones that are released by sunlight and moving your body. And then you have these like negative hormones like cortisol, where when you wake up, it's contributing to you feeling fearful, sad, anxious, like worry, anxiety, all those like feelings. So when you wake up, you want to start the day by moving your body, because the longer you don't move your body, that cortisol is just going to sit in your bloodstream. Because that cortisol, the way it works is it's your fight or flight response. Okay, so back in the day when we were trying to just survive as a human species, God created us with this fight or flight response, so that if there's anything that is anxious, anything that worries us, anything that's going to threaten us, we release cortisol into the bloodstream. And what that cortisol does is it's a good thing. It primes your body to fight or to flight, to run away. So it's priming your body, that cortisol, it tightens up your muscles so they're ready to take action. It raises your heart rate and your blood pressure slightly to help you, again, to provide blood to those muscles to be able to fight the thing or run away. So it's literally priming your body to be wired, to be like switched on, to be like ready to attack or ready to run away. So it's not a bad thing. It's just the problem is that now when we feel anxious, when we feel worried, when we feel this fight or flight response happening, we get the elevated levels of cortisol in our blood, in our biochemistry, but we're not using them. Because back in the day, you would fight something which would use up that cortisol, or you would run, and running would use that cortisol. But now, because a lot of our fears, our anxieties, our worries, our depression, it's all intellectual, it means that we're never actually giving it the physical release we need to release the cortisol out of our bloodstream. And so that's why you can mimic fight or flights by mimicking fighting, by going and exercising, moving your body like you're doing. It's like you're doing a workout, it's like you're fighting. Or you can go for a run, which is mimicking that flight response by actually going from a run, right? And so what this does is now it lowers your blood cortisol because you're using it in the exercise you're doing. And then now you're replacing the fear hormone cortisol, right? The anxiety-inducing hormone. You're replacing that now with the happy hormones, the endorphins that are released through flexing your muscles and using your body and the movement you're doing. And so then those happy hormones will now reduce the anxiety from the cortisol, and it's going to increase your mood. It's going to increase your sleep quality. It's going to increase just how happy you're going to be throughout the day. And so when I was younger, I used to love training at nighttime because I was optimizing for muscle growth. When nowadays, because I'm optimizing more just to feel good, like I just want to feel good through my days, that's what I'm optimizing for. Now I'm like, why would I wait to the afternoon, to the evening to release all of those happy hormones, to reduce my cortisol and fight anxiety and fear. Why won't I do that in the morning to start my day with exercise, moving my body, going for a run, doing a workout, something small? It doesn't take a whole lot of time either. Like, this could just be a little 10-minute workout or a little 10-minute run. And it's going to reduce your cortisol, it's going to increase your happy hormones and make you more resilient throughout your day to depression and anxiety. So I don't know about you, but that's something pretty cool to me, that once I realized that when I was studying exercise physiology, I decided, you know what? I'm going to flip my workouts from night times to mornings now so that I can get these positive mental health effects as soon as possible throughout my day, so that now I can be the best in my business, I can be the best husband, I can be the best future father once I've had my children, because I don't want to have all of these positive effects happen at the end of the day. I want to wake up, reduce my cortisol, and improve my mental state from the start of the day so that now I've started the day well. When I was younger, like I said, I was optimizing for strength and for muscle growth, essentially. And so training in the morning, sometimes people say, well, I can't train in the morning because I feel like I'm a lot weaker or I'm not performing the best. And that's fine. If that's you, you can still do the workouts at nighttime if you want to optimize for muscle growth. But the thing is that I would implement some sort of morning walk or a morning run or something small, or even just like a little circuit routine where it might be 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups, 10 jump squats or something like that. That way you're using your body and you're releasing the cortisol, you're releasing the happy hormones in the morning. And then you can get your strength training at nighttime. Otherwise, a lot of people overplay like how much muscle you can grow at night versus the morning. Like, while yes, circadian rhythm wise, all of that, you are, more optimized for strength training from about like midday onwards. But that's not to say you can't build muscle if you train in the morning. If you do everything correctly, if you follow a good program, if you're training hard, pushing your body to failure, while you might not be your strongest in the morning, you're still pushing your body and challenging your body, so your body will still make progress. Now, once you've changed your environment, that's going to help you to get the sunlight in and just make you feel good. Then you change your state, which is moving your body to immediately change your mood and how you're feeling. Then the last thing I like to do is change my plan, okay? But you can't create a plan first, so you need to do it in the order that I said. First thing you need to do is leave your house, change your environment. Then you need to change your state, your mood, by doing some exercise and moving your body. And so once you've changed your environment and your physical state to help you be more positive and happy, now you can sit down and make a simple plan to help you build the momentum that you need in your life. So you just need to make a simple plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like, just sit down and make a plan that helps you move in the right direction so you can start making progress and feeling good. What I like to do when I make this plan is just sit down and pick a maximum of 3 things that you're going to do per day to help you lift your mood. So it might be, okay, I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to get some sunlight on my skin with a little morning walk. Then I'm going to do some exercise, and you just want to figure out what type of exercise you want to do. And then I'm going to drink some water or something like that. So just make a simple 3-step plan that you want to do, 3 habits that you're going to do every day to help you to build the momentum. The second thing you want to do is make them specific. So don't just say, I'm going to exercise, but what are you going to do? You don't want to have to think. So when you're creating that plan, write down the things you want to do. What are the 3 things you're going to do each day? Write them down. Now be specific. So be specific. What workout are you going to do? What exercises is it? If it's going to be a run, how long will you run? Where will you run? If you're going to focus on improving your nutrition, what meals are you going to be eating to help to eat better and to feel better? Now, obviously in our app, we have a nutrition database that our clients use to get inspiration from. We also put our workouts in there, so it's very simple for them to just be like, all right, well, I'm just going to follow those workouts and do it. If they are feeling demotivated and they can't do the entire thing, then they might just do the first 3 to 4 exercises of the workout. So I always tell my clients that consistency triumphs being perfect all the time. Okay, so when you're trying to follow a training program, yes, you might create your optimal training plan, which is to do 3 days a week, 60-minute workouts. But if you're feeling demotivated, if you feel like you've been derailed, you don't need to do that entire thing. Maybe just commit to the first 3 exercises of each workout. That way you never lose momentum and you can rebuild momentum easily. And then if you have more time, then you finish the rest of the workout from there. So pick a max of 3 things to choose each day that you're going to build. And then for each of those things, be specific about what those habits are going to be, so that when you need to do it, when you wake up and you're going to do that workout, what are you going to do? When you say you're going to eat healthy, what are you going to eat? And for me, it just meant like stacking the fridge with foods that are available, that are easy to grab, that I can then eat healthy with those foods. So it's just like having good snacks available, like apples or protein bars, protein shakes. Then it meant that I would create some pastas, so that pasta, it's one of those things where if you can't be bothered cooking, you can freeze pasta and it's really easy to remake the next day to have a great meal. The last thing you need to do is then just schedule it. So you've picked 3 things, you've been specific about what those 3 things are that you're going to do for yourself, and then you're going to schedule this plan. So when are you going to do it? So that's where, with the workouts, I like to commit it to just in the morning. So it's just in the morning, get it done. And so just by having a plan, just by scheduling it, and just by following through with it, you're going to start building momentum in your life. You're going to start feeling better because you're going to get that sense of accomplishment and the dopamine release from ticking things off. So for example, last week when I have had my hand, foot and mouth disease, I had the fever, I wasn't able to come into the gym to do the workouts, I still wanted to feel good. So what I did was I made a quick plan so that I could still start each day with momentum. So each morning, first thing I did was I woke up and I would have a coffee with my lovely wife, Mel. She would make me a coffee and we'd sit down. Some people were laughing because I posted a photo online and we were sitting about 10 meters apart. But we had a morning coffee and we had some nice sunrise, watched the sunrise together. And then we got some sunlight on our skin so that we could just start feeling good immediately. Second thing I did was I would then put my desk outside so I had some sunlight on my face. Or if you're in a workspace in an office, maybe you put your desk near the window if it's a gloomy day, because last week was completely gloomy. It was just not a fun week. So then I moved myself, changed my environment so that I felt more motivated. Then the third thing I did was exercise. I couldn't come in the gym and do a full workout. So each day I made a point of just doing some walks. I would just go for some walks up and down the driveway, just to, again, elevate my mood so that in the morning I'm reducing those cortisol, those stress-inducing hormones that are in my body, and I'm replacing them with all of my happy hormones, the serotonin, dopamine, all those things, so that I can then have the best day and be the most productive person I can. Or even if you're not trying to be productive, if you're just sick and you just wanted to feel good, then you can just, once you've done those things, just be inside and then just watch some movies or just recover. But at least you've moved your body and you haven't just sat there and just rotted. Because while it might feel good to do that for one day, having multiple days in a row of keeping yourself in a dark room, doing no movement, no exercise, and just rotting, it's not good for your mental state. Again, that's why in prison systems, they isolate people and put them in isolation, because that's a punishment. And so you don't want to just induce that and accidentally put yourself into that isolation, either when you're being sick, or sometimes people do it and they start withdrawing again when you start having those mental health symptoms start coming on. So guys, that's the simple plan that I follow and I take people through. It's very simple. It's just change your environment, get out in some sunlight, change your state, which is just using exercise as a tool to release the happy hormones. And then the third one is to just make a simple plan. So if you're beating yourself up because you haven't been following your exercise routine, you haven't been eating healthy, change your environment, change your mood, lift your mood, and then sit down and make a quick plan and just be like, okay, what is the minimum plan I can stick to start building momentum? Because it's one of those things where you don't need to be perfect to start with. You just need to get out of this like rut that you feel like you're in. And the purpose of this plan right now is not to get your results. It's not to help lose weight. It's not to help build muscle. It's not to do any of those things yet. The first stage is just feeling good again. Okay, so you might do that just for like another week, 2 weeks, maybe it's a month, just following a very simple plan. And then you elevate the plan. So once you've been following it for a month, then it's like, okay, I'm going to create a new plan. What are the new 3 habits that I want to pick each day? Or can I build on the habits I've been doing and just do a little bit further with my walks and my runs? Or maybe I'm going to turn my workout from 3 exercises into 6 exercises now and double the length. Or maybe instead of just doing 3 strength workouts a week, maybe I'm going to do 5 or 6 strength workouts a week in the morning each day. So it's just whatever your plan was that you stuck to, now you start to build on it as you start building more life momentum. If you feel like you've made that plan and you haven't been able to stick to it and you failed and you feel like you failed. Number one, make a new plan. You obviously started a little bit too high. The bar was too high or you didn't commit to it. So it's time to sit down and simplify those habits. Even if it's not 3, maybe cut it back to just 1, where it's like, okay, every day I'm going to wake up and I am going to just do this one thing. And if I just wake up and go for a walk every morning this week, that's a win. That's a win. Then next week, maybe you're like, okay, come on, I can step it up. Like, this is a bit easy, Janusz. I'm just doing a 10-minute walk. That's simple. It's like, cool. Now what I'm going to do is let's turn 3 of those walks into some runs. So maybe I'm going to walk every morning, but then some mornings are going to be a bit of a run. Cool, I've stuck to that for a week or 2 weeks now. Now let me step it up to adding some workouts into there. Let me step it up and add some reading. Maybe I'm going to read 10 minutes a day. Let me step it up. And so it's just compounding. And this is how you build success. This is how you build success into your life. You start small, you build the habits, and then once you start moving and you've got the momentum, then you can go faster and faster and faster, or you can push harder and harder and harder and start doing more and more things in your life. So guys, that's all I've got for you today. I'm going to keep it nice and short, nice and simple. Let us know and give us some feedback about if you like these solo episodes. Obviously, I love being able to talk here with my wife. It's great as well. But yeah, I want to be able to jump on these episodes and do short little 20 to 30 minute ones sometimes, where I'm just giving you very good, short, effective action steps essentially that you can implement into your life. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's podcast. And I just want you to take from it again that if you're feeling demotivated right now, if you're feeling just like you've lost all momentum, if you're feeling like a little bit of depression right now, if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety right now, just realize that it's your responsibility to get out of it. Like, nobody else is coming. Nobody's going to save you. It's up to you to step out of it. And you can step out of it. It's not easy. It does take some steps. But just realize that if anybody was living your life right now in the things that you're currently doing, like, anybody would be demotivated. So you need to start taking steps and doing the things that make you feel good. Doing it with love. Obviously, like, I don't want to be too harsh on you here, but like, you need to break out of your current cycles that you're in and create a new cycle that helps you feel good. So if you're currently not going outside, go outside. If you're currently like not hanging around people, at least get out into social situations where you're hanging around people that you don't know, like the cafe that I was saying. If you're currently not exercising, start moving your body every day to release those happy hormones. Because if you're not doing that, you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to even change your state at all. You're just sitting in it. Like, you're letting that cortisol build up. You're letting it just sit in your bloodstream. You need to move your body to reduce that cortisol and replace it with all of the happy hormones, which is actually going to change your brain biochemistry. Okay, so it's going to work with you by moving your body, by exercising. You've now triggered your blood, your bloodstream essentially, to release all of these happy hormones, to go to your blood, to your brain, to now prime yourself to have a good day. So lift yourself up, get out of your current environment, change your mood by using your exercise, and make a quick plan where it's just like a small 2 to 3 steps that you're going to do every single day to help you to feel good. Now, guys, if you need any help with any of this stuff, then obviously that's exactly what me and Mel specialize in. So if you do want to apply to work with us, there's a link in our bio that you can tap on, and it's just a quick application to basically let us know how we can help you. And then we never take people on straight away. We always like to jump on a call with everyone first to just go through your goals, to go through what you're struggling with, to like really hear what's been happening in your life, to see like why you've been stuck in this rut. Like why you've done all these different things to exercise, or maybe you've done all these different diets, and we always like to uncover why they haven't worked together with you on the phone call, so that we can see, okay, we understand what you're struggling with. Can we help? And if we feel like we can help, that's where we can invite you to work with us. Anyway, guys, I want you to go out there and live the pro body lifestyle.